Hey, we're back. We're about to get in this word now. Okay, so we decided that we want to go all the way back to the beginning, so we can actually have something recorded that we can actually show people time and time, the new people time and time again. Like these blog talks, thousands and thousands of people can hear this one show. So we wanted to put it out there for the new people, and you guys can share this. And if there's any new people on the call right now, if you want to participate, because it'll be really good if we can have somebody to interact with. But if you want to push one, and we'll bring you in, so we can make sure that you're getting what we're about to say, because this is some information that we're about to bring out that America, the world, has been spending millions and millions of dollars for you not to know. We are bigger than what way bigger than what this nation tells us. Like, they only tell us about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, and stuff like that, and they give us Black History Month, which is one of the shortest months in the whole year. We are bigger than that. We're going to show you where we actually came from. We're going to show you where, in one chapter actually shows you everything, your name, your heritage, where you came from, the whole nine. And the people that's been, that's already in the truth, we might say something that you probably can use to help somebody, to wake somebody up later on. So, all right, so the first thing we got to get into is why Israel and how Israel was created. And I'm just going to give a little brief history on that. We had Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? The Most High created Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve's children was messing up, so the Most High flooded the whole earth and used Noah, his 3 sons, and their wives to populate the whole earth, right? And so out of the 3 sons, the 3 sons, the Most High chose a bloodline that he was going to make it come through one of those sons. And the son that he chose was Shem, who gave birth to Abraham. Abraham gave birth to Isaac. Isaac gave birth to Jacob, which created 12 sons. Like when we got to Jacob, all his sons was called Israel, right? These people was created to be the leaders of the earth. They were supposed to show the whole world how to serve the Most High. But in their disobedience and with them going to worship other gods, the Most High punished them, and the punishment that he put upon them fell on us. And that's what we're going to prove tonight. So let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Excuse me. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. It reads, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth."
So these people was a special people above all the people on the face of the earth, right? The Most High said, you the one that I'm going to choose. You the one I'm going to give my covenants to. You the one I'm going to give my blessings to. You the one I'm going to give my service to. So all these things he gave unto these people so they can spread it all through the world. And with us not doing it, this is the reason why the world is in the situation that it's in today. Matter of fact, get that real quick. Go to Psalms 82, Travis.
All right. Psalms chapter 82.
Psalms 82, we're going to go at verse 5.
And it reads, "They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
Okay, so with the children of Israel being asleep, with the children of Israel turning their back against the Most High, right, all the foundations of the earth is off course. If we look at the world today, we see an ozone layer being destroyed. We see the birds falling off the sky. We see all of the fish in the sea dying. You see all these animals. It wasn't set up this way when we was running the earth. When our people was running the earth, everybody was reaping the benefits. It wasn't nobody suffering like they suffering right now, because the Most High had it structured. Our people was in peace, but when we turned our back against the Most High, the whole world fell. Okay, so now let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Now, Deuteronomy 28, this is about when Moses had delivered the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. We walked through the Red Sea. The Most High saved us from the captivity of Egypt, right? And when he saved us from this captivity, he told Moses to go up into the mountains. Moses went up into the mountains for 40 days, 40 nights, came down with the commandments of the Most High, right? So when he came down with these commandments of the Most High, Moses said, "This is what my Father in heaven has told me to tell you." But he said, if you keep the commandments, you're going to live like kings of the earth, which he created you to do, right? But if you break these commandments, he said a curse going to fall upon you and all your seed after you, right? So this particular chapter that we're about to go into right now, so-called Negros, African Americans, and all that, and matter of fact, let me get into that. Okay? Now, when somebody asks you what's your nationality, right? So a lot of people will say black. Black is not a nationality. It is a color. And, I know everybody's saying Malcolm X. When you look up the definition of black, it is not a good thing. You don't want to call yourself black. That ain't who you are, right? Black means wicked. Black means liar, dirty, filthy, and so gloomy. All kind of stuff black means, right? So that's not who you are. Somebody might say, I'm an African American. That's not who you are. An African American is two continents. How can you be two continents, right? And your nationality does not stem on where you was born at, right? Okay, let me give you an example. If a Japanese man and a woman, right, had a baby in Africa, would the baby be an African because he was born in Africa? No. The baby would still be what his father is, right? Okay, so what if somebody was born on a ship and they wasn't even on no land? Would they be an ocean? Like they nationality would be or what if you was born in a plane or something? You know what I'm saying? You'll be a planian. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making up stuff because that's what they basically did with you. They basically made up names to give you, and that's why your name changes every 10 years. First we was colored, then we was Afrocentric. Now we African Americans, and it just goes on and on. They can't keep the lie going. The lie must stop right now. It must stop right now, and it's going to stop right now with these scriptures. When we go into the word of the Most High, he shall give you all truth. Okay, so Deuteronomy 28:1. So I want everybody to imagine that their ancestors was right there, because they was. And these scriptures right here is going to prove that your ancestors were right there, because you're going to actually be living this word. So you actually become a testimony of this book because you're living it. So they can't tell you that the Bible ain't real, because you're going to actually be living what this Bible is saying. This was predicting it way before slavery even happened. Okay, so let's go to Deuteronomy 28:1.
And it reads, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So he said, if you was to keep the Most High's commandments, he will set you high above all the nations of the earth. Then he went into detail. How? Let's go to 3 and 4.
Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
So he said, blessed shall be the fruit of thy body. That means all your children was going to be blessed. The fruit of the ground, everything you grow on the ground was going to be blessed. Your cattle, your flock, your sheep, everything will be blessed if you would keep the commandments of the Most High. 6 and 7.
Blessed shall be thou when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways.
Okay, he said, blessed shall you be when you walk in, and blessed will you be when you walk out. He said, anybody who try to come against you, they always going to lose and run 7 different ways, fleeing from you, right? Okay, so now, if you read from 1 to 14, these are all the blessings that the children of Israel were supposed to receive for keeping the commandments. Okay, so from 15 all the way to 68 was curses that was placed upon the children of Israel for not keeping the commandments of the Most High. Read verse 15.
It reads, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
He said, if you will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes, which the Most High commanded them to do that day, right? He said, all these curses shall come upon them and overtake them. Let's find out what these curses are. Let's go to verse 30.
Verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
So that means that you was going to have a wife, and another man was going to have the right to sleep with your wife. When did that happen, black people? That happened in slavery. The white man would come right on in and be like, hey, move on over. Don't step outside, nigga. I'm going to do it to your wife tonight. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. Nothing. You had to let this man sleep with your wife. Go ahead.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Okay, he said we're going to build houses, but we're not going to be able to live in the houses that we built. We was building big old mansions for the slave master, right? And they had us sleeping in shacks and barns, right? We built America. The whole America was built off the blood, sweat, and tears of the children of Israel. Did we reap any benefits from building this country? Did they give you any reparations for what your ancestors then did, what they didn't pay the price for this country? They died for this country. They bled for this country. They sweated for this country. But you didn't receive anything. Read on.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
We shall be planting stuff in the ground, growing all these crops for the slave masters, right? For all these things that you grow on the ground, you will not be able to eat. We're going to be picking cotton. We're going to be doing all these things, bringing all these things that's from the ground to the slave master so he can get filthy rich, and you still weren't going to receive none of the benefits, and you wasn't going to be able to eat that good old food that you grew. This is what the scriptures are saying. Let's go to verse 32.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. and there shall be no might in thine hand.
Okay, I know y'all seen Roots. When they used to take the little children from the parents and put them on a little buggy, and the woman is screaming, please, please, master, don't take my child. He like, get out. He slap her and say, get out of here. It ain't nothing you can do from stopping them from taking your children. Nothing you can do. You was powerless. You couldn't even you couldn't even fight back if you wanted to stop them from taking your child. If you wanted to fight back, you could die. You know what I'm saying? But they still was going to take your child. Read on, Travis. Verse 33.
Verse 33?
Yeah.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be oppressed and crushed always.
Okay, so he said that all the things that we had would get taken from us, right? Like, so we used to have so many things back in the day. We was rich people. We used to have so many things that they then took so many things from us that it don't even look like we ever had anything, right? And he said that the children of Israel will be oppressed and crushed always, right? So we are always under oppression. We always marching for equal rights or trying to get these nations to stop doing certain things or let us do certain things, right? They shooting our people down like crazy, right? And we marching, trying to get our voice heard so people can know that this is not right. This is a part of the scriptures of Deuteronomy 28. He said, crushed always, oppression. We have a system designed to keep us down. It ain't just because the so-called Negros in America ain't just successful just because they don't have what it takes to be successful. It is a system designed to keep them in the neighborhoods, in the ghettos, and on drugs and in gangs. It's bigger than what you see. Gangbanging is an actual. It is constructed by the government to make you gangbang. It is constructed by the government to send drugs in your community. This is bigger than what you see. So this is a system designed to keep you down. Okay, so let's go to verse 36.
The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone.
Okay, he said, so we was going to come to another nation, right? And when we get to this nation, we was going to serve other gods, wood and stone. So if we was to divide the religions down the middle, it would be wood worship on one side, and it would be stone worship on the other. So somebody would be like, okay, what is stone worship? Stone worship would be when you walk into a Chinese place, right, and you see a little fat dude with his shirt off right there by the cash register. His name is Buddha. That would be a symbol of idol worship, right, stone worship, right? Even when a lot of the black Muslims don't know, but, you know, the actual religion of the Muslims, when they're praying to the east, they're actually praying to the Kaaba stone. So that's another form of stone worship. Okay, now what would wood worship be? Okay, when you go to a church, right, you see crosses on top of the church, in the church, even your pastor is walking around with crosses on his sleeve, on his robe, and all that, right? That is a form of wood worship. The Most High do not want us to worship anything in heaven above on the earth beneath. So let me give you an example. Somebody out there probably like, oh, man, that cross ain't nah. Okay, well, first of all, if a brother or sister had a cross on their neck, right, and I said, what did that cross represent? The first thing they would say is Christ. If we go back to the Ten Commandments, the Most High said, don't make nothing that's in the heaven above or in the earth beneath, right? So if that cross represents anything in heaven above, it's an idol, and the Most High said, "Do not do it." So those are the two worships that the children of Israel was going to be under, according to the word, which is going on right now. Okay, so go to verse 37.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So now you're going to become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword from all the nations where the Most High going to send us, right? So that means that you're going to be a mockery. They're going to be calling you out of your name. They're going to be calling you monkey, coon, nigger, black, African American. All these names are bywords. These names are not who you really are. These names are to deceive you from knowing who you are. And the thing about it, we accept these names. They was calling us niggers. We turned it into niggas. And then we turned niggers into a nationality. Well, you know what I'm saying? Well, what nationality are you from? I'm a nigger. You know what I'm saying? So we have to come out of the bywords and find out who we are. According to the word, the fingers is pointing at you right now. Let's go to verse 41.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
So you're going to have sons and daughters, but you're not going to enjoy them because they're going to go into captivity. Do you know when we came off those slave ships, they was taking our children from the parents as babies? They never knew their mothers and fathers. They was disconnected from their actual roots, never knew who their mother and father was. Never got a chance to know or learn the heritage that they came from. This was a plan of the other nations to wipe out who we truly are. Go to verse 43.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Okay, the strangers that's within us, right, that brought us here, they're going to live very high. Can anybody tell me how high the other nations that brought us here is living? They are living in mansions. They got yachts. They got skyscrapers. They got helicopters. They got everything. But what do we have? Nothing. We living in the ghetto. We living in the slums. We see our people suffering. We see our people dying. You see our people killing each other. How are they so high and we so low? Now, I always say this. How rich would you be if you had 100 people working for you every single day, didn't take no days off, and they working for free? They have to work, or you can beat them, or you can kill them. So they're going to work. So how rich would you be? They actually pass down this money from generation to generation to generation, and all this money came from the free labor of your people. So look around and look at all the things that your people have benefited from in this country. It really belongs to you. But you won't reap none of the benefits of it. We are the lowest of the low right now. But this is not the way that the Most High constructed it. We were supposed to be on the high. But since we broke his commandments, we on the low. Read verse 44.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
We always playing catch up to the other nations. We feel like if we don't have no big old giant house, picket fence, with a dog or the Mercedes and the Range Rover in the driveway, then we ain't made it. We want to sit back and say we ain't happy because we don't have these things, right? But real happiness is within your family. You don't have to have materialistic things to be happy, but that's the way that it's set up. We want to follow them. We want to be lavish. We want to have the great and the expensive things. And if we don't have it, then Some people would be like, well, I ain't happy. They'll leave you over that. Some women be like, oh, you ain't got nothing. I don't want to be with you. I'm out of here. That's being the tail. You being a tail. You following the tail. You following the tail of the other nations. You want to be like them. Okay, verse 46.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
He said, now this is a very important verse. This is verse 46. He says, now they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, right? So if you're wondering who the children of Israel are, these curses will be a sign to identify them through the seed, right? So you be like, I wonder who the children of Israel are. Let me read these curses real quick and see who fit this, right? So I'm going to go through all of these. I'm like, man, who had to get their wives up and another man had the right to sleep with them? Who built houses and didn't reap none of the benefits from it? Who was planting, who was working in the fields and couldn't eat the same food that they grew? Whose children got taken from them through force and they couldn't do anything about it? Who had a whole bunch of stuff and got taken from them and they always oppressed always? Who was forced to worship wood and stone? Who was called bywords? Whose sons and children went into captivity? Who's living lower than any other nation upon the earth? Who's playing catch up to all the rest of the nations upon the earth? Right? Who's not able to lend to other nations? Then you're gonna be sitting up there like, every finger gonna be pointing at us. There's still gonna be a few that's like, well, you know, it's a couple of people out there that probably went through the same thing, but now the scriptures is going to go harder to where it can't be nobody else but us. Now let's go to 48.
Verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. Okay,
so he said, therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, right? Serve means you a slave, right? You hungry, thirsty, and you butt naked, right? And in want of all things, right? And what else does it say?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until
he shall put what upon your neck?
A yoke of iron upon thy neck.
He gonna put a yoke of iron upon your neck, right? So you're gonna be hungry, thirsty, butt naked, and have a yoke of iron on your neck. Who is that? Who is that so-called black man? Who is that so-called African American? Who is that? That is you. This is your history in the Bible. Okay, read verse 49.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
So he said he's going to bring a nation against thee from the ends of the earth. So when he say from the ends of the earth, they didn't have airplanes back then, first of all. So if you coming from the ends of the earth, that must mean you got ships. And he said as swift as the eagles flyeth. Who exalts themselves as an eagle, right? You pull out a dollar bill, you see an eagle. You pull out a quarter, you see an eagle. What do they say? When they land, so-called said when they land on the moon, the eagle has landed, right? Then they said the eagle has landed, right? So read on, Travis.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not what?
Understand.
Okay, so when we came off those slave ships, we was not speaking no African. We are not Africans. We do not come from the seed of Ham. We come from the seed of Shem. This is the biggest deception of all times. This is how we get lost. This is why you go into Egyptology and all these other African things, you know, like all these, we try to find our heritage, but we run into the wrong place. We got to go into this word, this book. The Bible is a history book, right? And so to prove that we was not speaking Hebrew because they actually took our language from us when we came off the slave ships, but we was singing songs, and these songs, some of these songs was Hebrew songs, even in the Hebrew dialect. We were singing songs like Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. That was actually Hebrew, saying, come by here, my Lord, come by here, right? Okay, verse 50.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
Okay, so he said a mean, furious nation was going to come against us, right? And they was not going to care how old or how young you were, right? Okay, do you know that they was actually killing our women when they was pregnant? Before the baby even came out, they was killing them. They used to tie one leg to one horse, another leg to another horse, and they used to split them wide open, right, and let the baby fall out and then crush the baby's head. They used to feed our children to alligators. They used to put them on a raft, put a little rope around their neck, and send them off in the swamps for a 200-pound alligator to eat the baby so they can make shoes, boots, and jackets, stuff like that. And then they had the nerve to turn around and make some candy about it. It was called nigger babies. And I think the picture of the nigger babies was an alligator with a little black ball in his mouth. And this candy still exists to this very day. It's called nibs now, and it's still on the market. If you you go on your internet right now, type in the history of nibs, or type in nigger babies, and you're going to see that this candy still exists. And us as Hebrews probably going to have to start boycotting that and bringing that to the light. Because now that we woke, we gotta start exposing all this stuff. But and that's going to be something that I'm going to speak with the brothers about. But Travis, do you want me to read for you, or you want me to keep going?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let's go to verse 50. Oh, you want me to read, or?
No, I'll finish up for you.
Okay. We going to 54?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother.
Okay, so the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye gonna be evil towards his brother, right? So who is brothers that's fighting with each other? They look just alike, but they sit up here killing each other like they don't know who each other is. This is gang banging at its finest right here. You can walk down the street that a black man, so-called black man, because you find out you're a Hebrew today, but a so-called black man could walk down the street where some brothers standing outside, and they gon' hate you just because they don't even know you. They'll be ready to kill you because they don't even know you. This is one of the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Keep reading.
And towards the wife of his bosom.
And towards the wife of our bosom, right? So that means that we're going to be evil towards our women, right? So that means that we're going to sit up here and call our women hoes, bees, sluts. We're going to be saying, make it rain on them, telling them to take all their clothes off to show the whole world their body like they're nothing. We're going to be calling them bees, hoes, and sluts so much that they're going to start calling themselves that. They're going to say, oh, I'm a good hoe. I'm a good bee. And then they glorify taking their clothes off and parading around with no self-respect. And we gonna be cheering it on because we're not going to care about our own women. Read on.
And towards the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Now, what do they say a black man do when he have a son or a daughter or just a baby, period? He leaves. They have a whole show about it, the Maury Popper show. And it's a Jewish man that run that show, and they pull down this big old screen and they say, let's do a blood test to see who this baby is. All three of them are looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? The woman, she looking crazy, first of all, because she looking like a hoe. She having sex with a whole bunch of different men that don't even know who her father is. Then the baby is sitting up there like, who is my daddy? It's the worst thing. They exploit the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Do y'all see that? This is ridiculous. This is the curses that our people brought upon themselves because they went against the Most High. Okay, go to verse 64.
It reads, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
He said he going to scatter us to the four corners of the earth as slaves, right? And we're going to be forced to worship other gods. He said to serve other gods. And he reiterated wood and stone. Okay, so let's go to verse 68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
He said he's going to bring us into Egypt again in what?
With ships.
How do we get over here, so-called black man, black woman? We came here in ships. The word Egypt, right? If you go to Exodus 20 and 2, it shows you that word means house of bondage. So say house of bondage so you can really get it, Travis.
And the Lord shall bring thee into the house of bondage again with ships.
We came over here in ships, people. Keep reading.
By the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. And no man
So he said when we came off the ships, we was going to be sold to our enemies as male and female slaves, and no one would buy us, right? And the word buy in the Hebrew means save or redeem, right? Okay, so now that can be nobody else but you, so-called black man, so-called black woman, right? So today you're learning that you are a Hebrew Israelite. You learning today that this book is about you. For so long, we have been told that this book had nothing to do with us, and we have not been including ourselves in the book. But now, it's a new day. Today is the day that you're going to be the main character in the book. Today, you learn that everybody in this book, the main characters, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Christ, Moses, all these people was your family members. So now the whole story changed, because now all of the prophecies that got to come forth is going to be with you. Because this bloodline is still here. This proves that this bloodline is still here. You just read how you got here in America. We got placed here because of the disobedience of our forefathers. And we are actually living these curses. And that's how powerful this book is. Matter of fact, go to Deuteronomy 29 and 25.
Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
Then shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord God of their father, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now, this is saying that the other nations going to be like, man, why did the Most High do this to these people, man? Why did he do this to his own people? Right? Read on.
For they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them.
So they went and served other gods that the Most High did not tell us to worship. This is why he did this unto us. And so, read on, Travis.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book.
So all these curses that we read in Deuteronomy 28 went forth upon the children of Israel, and this is why you are here in America today, living the curses of Deuteronomy 28. And no man upon this earth shall redeem you. Read 28.
And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day.
As it is what?
As it is this day.
As it is this very day, you are rooted out of your land. You are not in the land that you could call your own. You are in someone else's land. Okay, so now, let's go a little deeper. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 5. Let's start at verse 15.
5 and 15?
Yep.
And it reads, Lo, I will bring a nation upon you from far, O house of Israel, saith the Lord. It is a mighty nation. It is an ancient nation, a nation whose language thou knowest not, neither understand what they say.
Okay, this is a direct precept from Deuteronomy 28. So he said he was going to bring a mighty nation, a nation that we will not even know their language. Keep going. Let's find out what else happened.
Their quiver is an open sepulchre. They are all mighty men.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall eat up thine harvest and thy bread, which thy sons and daughters should eat. They shall eat up thy flocks and thy herds. They shall eat up thy vines and thy figs. They shall impoverish thy fenced cities, wherein thou trustest with the sword.
Okay, so they're going to take everything away from us. Keep reading.
Nevertheless, in those days, saith the Lord, I will not make a full end with you.
Mm-hmm.
When it shall come to pass, when you shall say, Wherefore doth the Lord our God all these things unto us?
Okay, so a lot of people going to ask this question. Why is the Most High doing this all to his people? Shouldn't he love his people? Why is he doing this to them? Why did he go so hard with them? And so when they ask you this question, this is what you're supposed to say. Read on.
And thou shalt answer them, like as have you forsaken me, and served strange gods in your land? So shall you serve strangers in a land that's not yours.
He said, thou shalt answer them, like as you have spoken, and forsaken me, and served strange gods in your land, so shall you serve strangers in a land that is not yours. So that's exactly what we're doing today. We being servants to other nations, strangers in a land that we don't know. We didn't know nothing about this land. They brought us here as slaves. Okay, jump down to verse 26.
For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait, as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men.
He said, so these wicked men was going around setting up traps, and they was catching men, right? What was they doing with these men? Keep reading.
As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore, they are become great and waxen rich.
So they put all these men in cages, right? And then they started selling these men. And they became fat. And they became rich and great, right? Read on.
They are waxing fat. They shine.
They got so rich that they started waxing fat. They started shining. They started bling-blinging on everybody. That's how much money was made off of slavery. This was the biggest thing. The Atlantic slave trade was the biggest thing that ever happened in this world with money. They used to always sell like furs and diamonds and stuff like that. But when they actually started selling people, you can actually go and buy a person and make them do whatever you want them to do, and it ain't nothing nobody else can say about it. You can't call nobody. You can't get no help from nobody. This is what this nation has done. This is how wicked this nation is. They knew at that time that we was the children of Israel. They knew that they was doing this to God's people. Do you think that the Most High is going to let that ride? Keep reading.
They overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause. They cause the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper.
He said they overpass the deeds of wickedness. So they didn't reach the whole level that the Most High said, you know what, I don't even know what to call this no more because they didn't pass up wickedness. Keep reading.
Yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. Shall I not visit for these things, says the Lord?
So you think that the Most High ain't going to visit these people for these things? Keep going.
Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this?
You think he ain't going to put his hands on these people who did all this to us? Keep going.
A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means, and my people love to have it so. And what would you do in the end thereof?
He said your pastors, your preachers, and all your prophets and priests and everybody is lying to you, teaching you wrong, but you loving lies. You don't want the truth. You love to hear lies. Somebody come bring you the truth, you don't want it. He said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because they reject knowledge. He didn't say the knowledge wasn't there. He said that they rejected it. Like, man, I don't want to hear that. Get out of here with that. And then Jeremiah said, man, what are we going to do in the end thereof? Right? That's how bad it was. Right? So let's go to Psalms 83 real quick.
And it reads, keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, your enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Okay, so he said the enemies made a tumult. A tumult means an uprising. They that hate thee have lifted up their heads. So these people was coming against the children of Israel. Keep going.
They are taking crafty counsel against their people and consulted against your hidden ones.
Okay, the crafty counsel can go a long way. That means that I'm sitting back and we plotting on the children of Israel. Like, oh, yeah, man, we about to get their wives. We about to rape them. We about to get their children. We about to make them work. We about to kill the men. We about to work the men. We about to change their language. We about to build America and make it the strongest country that we can ever make it. We gonna treat them like dirt. We gonna torture them. On and on and on, right? So crafty counsel went a long way. But the part of this meeting was this. Read verse 4. They said what?
They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So the main goal was to cut them off from knowing that they was Israel, so it will be no more in remembrance. This stuff is still going on to this day. This is why the churches that's set up in America today, right, and they go to school for 7 years. Your pastor go to school for 7 years, get a theological degree, right? He come out, and they didn't taught him to teach you not to read the Old Testament. Oh, man, we're in the New Testament now. We ain't got to read the Old Testament no more. The reason why they did that, they programmed him to do that, is because they didn't want you to see that one chapter, Deuteronomy chapter 28. Because Deuteronomy 28 tells the whole story of how you became who you are today. This is a plan, this is a structured plan by Satan himself. He said, they are confederate against thee. These people have came against us, and they have tried to cut off every avenue of information to make sure that we didn't know this, right? But through the grace of the Most High, through the power, through the Spirit of the Most High, He is looking down upon us, and He is feeding us the information. We're not getting this information from no other nations. This is a spirit that He put up on this earth for us to start waking up right now. And each and every man that get this information got to go and spread it like it ain't no tomorrow. Because you don't want the blood upon your hands. Tell them if they're going to listen or not. You still tell them. It's going to be many people reject you. It's going to be many people say, oh, man, I don't care about where I came from, man. I'm going to tell you like this, man, ain't nothing worse than a slave that don't know he a slave. It ain't nothing worse than somebody to say, it ain't nothing worse than somebody sitting up here saying that they don't want to know about who they are or where they came from. This is ridiculous. This is an outrage that our people are so lost that they don't even want to read the book that they have every day. They said if you want to hide something from a black man, put in a book. They sit up here laughing at us. They was like, man, every black person got a Bible, and they won't open it up and read it. This whole book is about them. Ha, 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 ha. This is how bad this is. This is horrible. But with the Spirit of the Most High and us standing bold as the people that we are, bold as a lion, we're going to go out here and we're going to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel.
We're going to get back into this word and keep feeding y'all with this knowledge. Now, before Malak was talking about the curses that we get into and the reason why we're here and the other nations taking it overboard, and the Most High going to revisit them for that, right? So we done seen all of the stuff that happened in the past that brought us to this moment. Now we have to see the end of things. We have to see what the Most High is going to do in result of Him revisiting and giving the Gentiles or the nations that came against us the recompense. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30. Like Brother Malak always say, the Most High do love us, and through all of our disobedience, He still is going to come back for us. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1.
It said, and it shall come to pass, when all these things come upon thee, the blessings and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations where the Lord thy God has driven thee.
So he says, it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curses. Now we know that we chose the curses. So these things have already come upon us. Remember, Deuteronomy 28 and 46 says that this was going to be upon the seed forever. So these curses are upon us. It said, and we shall call them to mind among all nations. Everybody's going to know this information. Everybody's going to know this knowledge. It's going to come into remembrance for everybody, wherever the Most High has driven us, right? Verse 2.
And thou shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and thou shalt obey his voice according to all that I command this day, thou and thy children, with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
So the Most High said that we going to return to him. Once this information get out, once this truth hit the streets and hit everywhere, the four corners of the earth, we're going to return to the Most High. And what we going to be doing? We're going to be keeping the commandments. Our children. And we're going to do it with all our heart and with all our soul, right? Verse 3.
That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
Oh, wait. The Most High going to do what?
The Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
So once we start keeping the commandments of the Most High, and once we start waking up as a nation, the Most High is going to do what?
He's going to turn thy captivity.
He's going to turn our captivity. And what else?
And have compassion on thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations where the Lord thy God has scattered thee.
Wow, so the Most High is going to turn our captivity and have compassion on us. Now, this is our job as well. The Most High said that y'all got to wake up and come back to me. We got to go back to the Most High. We got to return to the Most High and keep his commandments. And he's going to turn away our captivity. He's going to have compassion upon us. And what he going to do? He said he's going to return and gather us from all the nations that he scattered us. We're not going to have to go to him. He's going to come and get us from all the nations that he took us to. Because we're being obedient. We're being diligent unto his word. We're following him as we were supposed to do back when we came out of Egypt. Verse 4.
If any be driven to the outermost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee.
He don't care where you are. He don't care if you're on an island by yourself out in who knows where. He coming to get you. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is saying that I love my people so much that I'm going to give them another chance. If you keep my commandments and walk in his statutes and his judgments, then he's going to come fetch us no matter where you are. Keep going.
The Lord thy God will bring thee into the land that thy fathers possessed.
Hold on now.
Thou shalt possess it.
Hold on. We're not going to heaven. We're not. That's what's taught in the churches, that we're going straight to heaven when he come back and get us. But you got to remember, the Most High is a God to keep his promises. He told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that he was going to take us back to the land that he promised them. Right? So what do we say?
And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land that thy fathers possess, and thou shalt possess it.
So we going home. We going home, Israel. Keep going.
And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers.
So he's gonna multiply us above our fathers. He's gonna show. What did he say? He told Abraham that his seed was gonna be like the stars in the sky if he could count them. The Most High is gonna bless our seed again. He's gonna bring back those blessings that we turned down in the beginning. Keep going.
And the Lord thy God will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed, and the love of the Most High with all thy heart and with all thy soul, as thou mayest live.
So the Most High is going to come and change us. He's going to circumcise our heart and the heart of our seed. So we're going to have a whole eternal change. We're going to enter into a new covenant with the Most High. Right? This is something that the Most High has been planning since the beginning. So now it's time for us to do our part to allow him to do his part. The Most High never just go ahead and do things. It's always a cause and effect. He said before us blessings and cursings. We chose the curses. Now it's time for us to choose the commandments and live, or reject them and die. It's time to come. We don't have a choice, Israel. We are the people. This is our bloodline. It's not Christianity. It's not Islam. You don't have a choice to be Christian or Baptist or this or that. This is your bloodline. The Most High breathed out of his body breath into you, into us, our people, those chosen people, those ones that were supposed to be high above every seed or every nation on the earth. This is us. We are those people that he catered to, and he still caters to, even in our disobedience. But now it's time for us to do something for him. So we got to get back to these commandments. But it's hard. I understand that it's hard, Israel. I understand that we got these what the brother say, these theologian schools that's not our people. Let's go to Psalms 147, 19 to 20 real quick. They putting our priests and our pastors in theologian schools, and they're getting taught by the other nations. The same people that taught us when we came over on slave ships, the same people that destroyed our people. These are the people who are teaching us theology, right? How many know that the worst thing that you can do is have your enemy teach your child? They're not going to teach them nothing of what they need to know. They're going to teach them what they want them to know. That's the same thing that's going on with our pastors. They're nothing but babes in this word. They're babes to the Most High, and the enemies are teaching them to teach us. So we're going to be a continuous chain of us not knowing who we are, of us falling into sin because we don't know how to read these scriptures as the Most High wants us to. Read Psalms 147 and 19.
And he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
So he said he showed his words unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. We are the only people that he showed his words to. We are the only people that know how to go in this Bible and dissect this word and show what the Most High wants us to do. We are the only people that can find Deuteronomy 28 and put it to our lives. This is us. This is not a spiritual Israel. This is not something that you can just say, oh, well, you know, the old people done away with. No, it's not done away with. We're still here. Let's go to Romans chapter 9. Verse 4.
Romans 9 and 4. Mm-hmm. Who are the Israelites to whom pertain the? Mm-hmm.
He said, who are the Israelites? I want y'all to remember that. Who are the Israelites? That what?
To whom pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenants, the giving of the law, the service of God, and all the promises.
The Most High said the Israelites. It's to us that pertain the adoption. It's to us that pertain the glory, to us the covenants, to us the giving of the law, and us the services of the Most High, and us the promises. It wasn't nobody else. In Psalms 147, he said that he only dealt with us and ain't deal so with no other nation. And this right here is showing you, he gave us the covenants and the services of the Most High and all the promises. It's us. Right? Read verse 5.
Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, who is over all, the Most High blessed forever. So be it.
Okay, jump down to verse 26.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where they said unto them, you are not the people, they shall be called the children of the living God.
Wow. In this land right now, they telling us that we not the chosen people of the Most High. They said that those people over there, those Jewish people that's over there in the land is the people. But we read in the curses that the Most High was going to take us away from our land as it is this day. So who are those people that's over there? The Most High said that they told us that we aren't the people, but they going to see that we were called the people. We are the people. Let's go to Revelation 2 and 9 so we can get deeper in depth on these so-called people that call themselves the Jewish, the chosen people, the people that's over there that's raping our land, that's treading our land down and taking our identity. Those people that took us down in Psalms 83. Let's go to Revelation 2 and 9.
Revelation 2, verse 9. I know thy works, tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Hold on. So the Most High said, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. Are those Jewish people in tribulation and poverty? No. They own the banks. They own everything you see. They got their own spot in the White House called the American Jewish Liaison. These are not the people that Christ was talking about right here. They're not in poverty. They're not in tribulation. But what he said, I know thy works, thy tribulation, thy poverty, but thou art what?
Rich.
Thou art rich in spirit. We are the rich in spirit. Those brothers was just touching on the spirit that we have dwelling in us. Nobody has that spirit but us. The Most High put that spirit in us. He dwells inside of us. We are a temple of the Most High. We are rich in spirit. Keep going.
And I know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews and are not.
He said
but
he
are
knows
the synagogue
of them which say they are Jews and are not. Those people that call themselves Jewish, they not the real chosen people. They're not the Jews. Let me give you an example. What do they say? What do they say that the black man and the so-called black man and black woman live in the urban cities? They tell you that you live in the ghettos. Newsflash, my people, the ghetto, the definition of the word ghetto means a community filled with Jews. They pointing you out. They showing you who you are. When he said he know the blasphemy of them would say they are Jews, Jewish, with the ish on the end, which means pertaining to. They're not the real people. And are not, but they are the what?
Synagogues of Satan.
Synagogues of Satan. Who worship in synagogues? Not us. Those Jewish people worship in synagogues. And I hope y'all don't think that Christ only said this once. He was serious about this thing, and he wanted us to know this. So let's go to Revelations 3 and 9.
Revelations 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogues of Satan, who say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will come and make them worship before thy feet, to know that I have loved thee.
So so Christ said that he was going to make them of the synagogues of Satan. The people who are the real Jews, a lot of us don't even know that we are. So it's not talking about us. And we definitely don't worship in synagogues. But he said he was going to make them of the synagogues of Satan, which say they're Jews and are not, but do lie. But this is how much Christ and the Most High love us. He said they was going to make them worship at our feet for them to know that he loved us. How powerful is that? But why is it that we can't understand this? Why is it that we aren't taught this? And I'm about to show you. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 29. Why is it that we've been bamboozled and fooled and hoodwinked into thinking that this book is not our history book? Into thinking that we came from Africa? To thinking that we are not the chosen and the holiest people on the face of the earth? Let's go to Isaiah 29, verse
Verse 9.
Yeah, verse 9.
Isaiah 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunkards, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink.
So the Most High said that these people was drunk, but not with wine. They staggered, but not with strong drink. So these people was running around to and fro like they lost and like they drunk, but they ain't drunk nothing. Let's get deeper. Let's go to verse 10.
For the Most High hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and have closed your eyes.
He poured out the spirit upon us of deep sleep. That's what our people is in a deep sleep. They're around here sleepwalking because of this heavy spirit that the Most High poured upon us. Hey, go ahead.
And the prophets, your rulers, and the seers have he covered.
So he closed the eyes of our prophets, which is our so-called pastors and our priests, and the rulers and the seers have he covered. This is why we not in a position to know who we are right now. But he bringing that spirit back. Let's go to verse 11.
For the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed.
So So before this, when you in churches, this book is like it was sealed to you. You can't really see what's going on in this book. Why? Keep going on.
When men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee, he said, I cannot, for it is sealed.
Well, these so-called pastors that we got, they supposed to be learned men. But we asking them questions out of this Bible that's stirring up in our heads, and they can't answer them. They dance around them. They can't read it. They can't let you know what it is because to them it's sealed. Keep going.
And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. He said, I am not learned.
So it's given to a man that's not learned, and he can't read it. He don't know nothing about it. He's not learned, right? So keep going.
Wherefore, the Lord, the Most High said, for as much as my people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and the fear towards me is taught by the precepts of men.
The Most High said that we draw near him with our mouths. Perfect example. We in church. Oh, I love God. I love God. I love God. He's the head of my life. I'm giving honor and power to the head of my life. But he's not the head of your life according to your actions. You don't love him according to your actions. How do you love him? John 15 and 14 or 14 and 15 said, the love of the Most High is keeping his commandments. In order to love him, you have to keep his commandments. So if you're not keeping his commandments, then you don't love him. And we're going to get into those commandments. Let me get one more scripture. Let's go to Romans chapter 11, verse 13. 13, verse 11. Remember, the Most High said that he poured upon us a deep sleep. But the reason why that we're talking to you today and that you're on this call today and that you're listening to this today is because of this scripture right here. This is what's going to happen with that deep sleep. Let's go to Romans 13:11. Read that.
13:11.
Mm-hmm.
And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now our salvation is nearer than when we believe.
The Most High said that it's high time to awake out of that sleep. He poured that spirit of deep sleep upon us, but now it's high time to wake up. And there's a reason why it's time for us to wake up. Why? Because our salvation is nearer than when we believe. It's right around the corner. You see Matthew 24 coming to life. Wars and rumors of wars. Earthquakes in diverse places. You see this famines coming. You see all of this stuff. Our salvation is nearer than we believe. And now it's time to get back to the Most High in full force. It's time to make Deuteronomy chapter 30 come to life. It's time to make the end of Matthew chapter 24 come to life. The Most High want to come gather us. But it's up to you. You have to keep these commandments. You have to come back to the Most High wholeheartedly. This is our job. Our salvation, your salvation depends on you. Everybody got to work out their own salvation. And the way that you work it out is keeping these commandments, which we're about to get into right now. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20. I'm going to pass it over to Brother Giannis.
All right. Hey, y'all making some very, very good points tonight. And we're going to get into these commandments. The first place I want to start is, let's go to Exodus 20 and 1.
All right.
Because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're hearing this information tonight. That means we know who we are. Now we want to know, we want to come and learn how to love the Most High. We don't want to be like the brother just read the scripture that said, we act like we love him, but we far off from him. We don't want to be that way. So we're going to go through these commandments so that we can learn how to love the Most High and start to love the Most High. So let's get Exodus 20 and 1.
And it reads, and God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
No, just one.
Oh, okay.
Just one.
Again.
I want, yeah.
And God spake all these words, saying.
Reason why I want him to read that, and I wanted to point it out, because this is God speaking. This was not written by no man's hand. As a matter of fact, go down to Exodus 20:18 and 19 and read that.
It reads, "And all the people saw the thundering and the lightning and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die."
So these commandments are very important. See, God said, you love me, keep my commandments. Now we see here that this is God giving us these commandments. So nobody can tell my wife how to love me but me. That's why I can say, baby, this is how I want you to love me. So when the Most High gave these commandments, he was saying, this is how I want you to love me. So go ahead and now we can go into the commandments. Let's get into them. We'll go to Exodus 20:2 first.
Exodus 20, verse 2. "I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage."
All right, so I wanted to show this also because first he's telling us how to love him, and now he's bringing back something. He's letting us know that he's the one that brought us out of Egypt. He's bringing up past experiences so that we know that we can trust him. He's letting us know, look what I've done for you. You can trust me. Also, he's letting us know that these are promises that he made to our forefathers. And one of those promises he made way back when he was speaking to Abraham. Get Genesis 17:7 for me, All
right. Genesis chapter 17, verse 7. "And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee."
So when he said, "I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage," he was letting them know that I am establishing a covenant with you right now, today. And that this covenant is really a real covenant, and you have to abide by it. Malak just read and went through the curses and the blessings and the curses. And in any covenant, any contract, you have stipulations that you have to go by. These stipulations says you do this, and the contract stands. If you do this, the contract don't stand. So what he's letting you know right here is, I'm establishing a covenant. This is how you love me. And if you keep these commandments, then you will be blessed. If you don't, you won't be blessed. And we remember that's Deuteronomy 28:1 and Deuteronomy 28:15. So now we're going to get into these commandments. So we understand that these commandments are how we love the Most High. We know that we can trust him because he showed us over and over that we can trust him. So now we're just going to go into keeping these commandments. Let's get the first commandment.
"Thou shalt have no other gods before me."
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. This is a very important thing because anything that we put before the Most High is a god. Anything, your wife, yourself, your car, your job, anything that we put in before the Most High becomes another god. So we have to be very careful to understand this. If the Most High is telling you to do something and you put something else in front of that, you have just made yourself another god. So we have to be very careful to understand what this is saying. See, a lot of people always want to think that this has to do with other idols, which it does. But it's just as small as turning away from keeping the Sabbath. It's just as small as you know you have to do something for the Most High, and you say, well, I'll do it later, and then you don't get around to it. So whatever you put before that thing that you have to do for the Most High, that became another god. All right, get Exodus 20:4 up.
"Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
All right, so we remember when we read in Deuteronomy, what was that, 34? Where it talks about the other gods, wood and stone?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
So right there, this is what he's saying. See, when that, like he was saying about the cross, and he said, you know, some people think that, oh man, this cross, I can wear this cross. I can wear this cross. This cross is not harming anybody. But when you ask somebody, what does this cross represent? It represents God. I'm sorry. The cross represents Christ, which is in heaven. And if the cross represents Christ, which is in heaven, this commandment is telling you right here that it says, thou shalt not make any graven images or likeness of anything that is in heaven above. So we cannot do that. We can't do any of those things. That fish that you wear, that people put on their bumper stickers that says Jesus on it, or those angels that you have in your house, that's a representation of something that is in heaven. So we can't do that. We can't have any of those things. These are all breaking the commandments. This is the things that we were getting in trouble for when we was over there walking with Moses. And throughout history, we kept making this mistake. So we have to come back to the Most High, keep His commandments, keep His statutes, and stop making these mistakes. And the only way that we're going to stop making these mistakes is that we got to get into this word. We have to start learning this word and understanding what it says when we read these things. And when we read that, it says no images. So we can't do any of those things. So we have to give it up. All right, go ahead, Al.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
All right, so see, he said there, if you do these things, you hate him. That right there alone is enough for me to say I won't do this. So I don't want to be on the side where the Most High say I hate him. And then we sit and we do all this stuff talking about how we love him, but then we break these commandments and show him that we don't. So we have to be careful, because I don't want to be one of those people that get to the kingdom and the Most High say, get away from me because you never knew me. I don't want to do that. So we got to start keeping these commandments. Go ahead, Al.
And showing mercy unto the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
That's where I want to be. That's where I want to be, and that's where I want you guys to be. So we want to be there where he shows mercy unto the thousands of them that keep his commandments. All right, get the next commandment.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord would not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
All right, so right here we see where it says, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Well, we've been taught that this means some type of vulgarity when we speak in vulgar languages, which this is not correct. We're not supposed to use these vulgar languages, but this verse does not pertain to that. This word, the word name in the Hebrew is Shem. That word means character. So when you read this in the correct context, it says, thou shalt not take the character of the Lord thy God in vain. Christ was that character when he walked this earth. We are to be representations of Christ when we walk this earth. So once we come into this truth and we turn from that representation, we are taking the name of the Most High in vain. We do not want to do that. This could be a problem in many ways, because once you take the name of the Most High in vain, you are not only causing yourself to fall, but you are causing somebody who has been watching you. They might be watching you and they ain't even saying nothing to you, but they watching you. And when they watch you and they see that you take the Most High's name in vain by causing his character to corrupting his character, by doing things that you know you're not supposed to do, you are causing them to fail. And there is a problem. The Most High said if you cause one of the little ones to fall, you might as well throw a rock around your neck and throw yourself into the sea. So we have to be very careful when we learning these commandments and we doing these commandments, because we don't want to cause anybody to fall by breaking the character of the Most High. All right, get the next one out.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. For 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
All right, we see something else here important. We see that the first 3 commandments, the Most High said, thou shalt not keep, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. When we came down to the 4th commandment, he said, remember the Sabbath day. The reason why he put remember there instead of thou shalt keep the Sabbath day is because he knew that Satan was going to cause the world to forget his Sabbath day. And we got to come back to keeping the Most High's statutes and commandments. And we have to keep this Sabbath day. It is very important that we keep this day, but not only that we keep it holy. He says 6 days are thou to labor, but on the 7th day we are to rest. And when we rest, this is really important, because in creation, when the Most High was creating the heaven and the earth, he rested on the 7th day. Do you know that he has continued to rest on the 7th day? So today, when the sun sets, he is resting with us right now. That's powerful. And if you can't take time out of your schedule to rest, when the Most High can take time out of his schedule, and I'm pretty sure that his schedule was way more hectic than yours, and he can take time out of his schedule to rest. This also shows that he keeps his own commandments. So we have to keep these commandments. Get Exodus 31 and 13 for me. 31, 13, and 14.
You shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
That soul shall be cut off from amongst his people. This is how important this day is. We have to keep this day, man. This is very important. See, what we don't understand is that the first 4 commandments, they deal with our love and our relationship with the Most High. Right? When you break the Sabbath day, you are breaking the other 3 commandments along with it. If you don't keep the Sabbath day and you go into church on Sunday, you are worshiping another idol. You are putting another God before the Most High. You are taking the character of the Most High in vain. So you know how it said, this is what the Christian church said, oh, we can't keep the commandments because if you break one, you break them all. Well, if you break in the Sabbath day, you break in the rest of the commandments. So we have to keep all the commandments. But if you break in the Sabbath day, you are breaking the first 4 commandments. And these 4 commandments deal with our relationship with us, Most High. And we can't do that. We have to keep that relationship with the Most High. So we have to keep the first 4 commandments and the last 6. The last 6 commandments deal with our relationship with our fellow man. So we're going to get into those commandments right now. Let's get the next commandment out. Yeah.
It says, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land of the Most High. Give it thee.
All right, so He says, if you honor your mother and your father, or your father and your mother, your days will be long on the earth.
And we're going to be wrapping up the show in a little bit. Thank everybody for coming out and bearing with us and hearing the word of the Most High on the Sabbath day. Hopefully we got some new people out there. Today is their first Sabbath day. All praise to the Most High. The Sabbath day starts when the sun goes down on Friday evening and ends on Saturday evening. The Most High said the Sabbath is from evening to evening on the seventh day of the week. All right, shalom, shalom. We back. I want to get into a couple of more scriptures real quick. We're gonna go to Psalms 94 and 11, and he says, "The Most High knoweth the thoughts of man, that they are vanity." Right. So we all want to be the Most High. And with us wanting to be the Most High, we not allowing ourselves and our spirits to be used by the Most High. When Eve ate the apple, the first thing that he told her that she was going to become was a god. And what he meant by that you was going to make your own decisions and break the connection between the Father to lead you. Now, we got to get back to where the Most High is leading us, and us not leading, being a controlling factor of everything, every decision. Let him make the decisions. He knows. It's just like a father with a little child. You don't want your child to go across the street because you know the danger that's going to put your child in if he try to cross the street. But he don't understand it. But if he don't obey your commandments, the commandment that you gave him not to go across the street, what's going to happen? He can risk being killed by a car, right? So it's the same thing with our Father, which is in heaven, right? He said, "Blessed is the man who chances the Most High and teaches him out of the law." So we got to go back to the commandments of the Most High. Travis has already brought out that when we keep the commandments of the Most High, then that's how our captivity going to change. That's how we going to get free from this captivity that we're in. These are the things that the Most High is asking us to do. He said, "Come back to my commandments and then teach your children my commandments." They took our nationality away from our forefathers, but we can get it back. When them slaves that touched down on this land knew who they were, they got it taken from them. But now the Most High gave it back, and what you going to do with it? What you going to do with it that you got it back? You going to turn your back on this information? You going to sit back and say, "Oh, I don't really care"? Or are you going to stand and be the soldier that the Most High called you to be? Verse 14, "And the Most High will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance." The Most High is not going to cast us off, and neither is he going to forsake his inheritance. So what is he asking us to do? Keep his commandments so we can live. He got something special for all of us. Do you think that we went through 400 years of slavery for nothing? We are about to get blessed, unimaginable blessed. But we have to come back up under the power of the Most High. We can't fight no battles without him. We can't fight no battles without the Most High. We fight a battle without him. Without him, we're going to always lose like we continue to be losing. It says, "But judgment shall return unto the righteous, and the upright in heart shall follow it." Right? So when we start coming back to his commandments, guess what? The whole world is going to follow. The whole world is going to follow. Watch this verse. He said, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?" Who is going to stand up for the Most High? Who is not going to fear nothing and go out here and do this work and wake our people up and try to get all the people back under the Most High? Who going to walk up into the churches and say, "Hey, brother, this doctrine that you're teaching is not correct"? Who going to walk up into the Muslim temples and say, "Hey, brother, this we ain't supposed to be Muslims, we Hebrews"? Who going to walk up to even these little camps that's trying to go against our people and starting to do things that's not of the Most High? Who going to stand up for the Most High? That is the question. He said, who will rise up against the workers of iniquity? Who is going to do that? Out of all this time that we've been calling on the Most High, He's been there for you. Now He needs you. He needs you to rise up. He needs you to stand up. He needs you to wake up and be the people that He created you to be. And we just want to thank everybody for coming out. Bless everybody for hearing this word. It was a beautiful Sabbath day. And we're going to be back next Tuesday now. Don't forget, next Tuesday at 6 p.m. on 6 p.m. Western and 9 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to get into some more deep topics. And the brothers brought out some good stuff about things that we should eat and we shouldn't eat and all these things that's in all these products and stuff that we buying, and we're going to probably get real deep into that. So I would just like to thank everybody for coming out. I want to say Shabbat Shalom. Hear this beautiful song as we go out, and we'll see you again next Tuesday. Shalom, everybody.
The conquering lion shall break every chain. The conquering lion shall break every chain. Give Him the victory again and again, again and again. Give Him the victory. Oh, the conquering lion shall break every chain. The conquering lion shall break every chain. Give Him victory again and again and again and again and again and again. Give us some victory, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, conquering lion. Feel the drums roll. She'll break every chain.